Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome back to Lads in Distress. When I last left off, we got invisible and had a lot of fun, and we have a proper proposal this time, but we seem to have another issue where he kind of wants to rush the marriage along because apparently dragons are attacking the Mer Kingdom, and they could really use the defense of the Lunar Kingdom and such, so now we're gonna go talk to our parents and see if we can rush things along. So let's see what happens, because I have a sense of deja vu as I stand in front of the door to the throne room. I feel like my entire relationship with Mer can be summed up by regular meetings with my parents to convince them to let me break traditions. Hopefully the trend doesn't last. I glance at Mer, who looks even more nervous than I do. Well, crap. I look down at my feet and then my hands, which are folded together in front of my stomach. Yeah, yeah. I take a slow, deep breath. Maybe mere intuition and guesswork, all the doubt from my parents and Nicole began to creep on me last minute. What if they're right about Mer? What if he's dangerous after all? What if he does want to harm me? Well, I guess I can trust him. We'll see what happens. I shake the ideas out of my head. Mer has only been kind, and if anything, he's the victim. I think back to Mer's stories regarding his persecution and shudder. Heavens only know how I would have reacted in his shoes. I'm going to be here for him. I'll trust him enough to make up for all the skeptics who don't. Are you ready, Mer? Mer nods, and I open the door. Oh boy. Mommy, Daddy, remember how we were screwing around earlier? Charming, what brings you here? It has hardly been 2 weeks ago since we approved your stay here. Too short time has passed for you to have engendered yet another heterodox idea. I laugh uncomfortably. Well, why have you come, Charming? Mer approaches my parents and kneels. Oh, you aren't bowing before us today? I jest, of course, consider ourselves equals. There is no reason for you to even kneel. Mer begins to sign for father. I interrupt with my voice. Somehow making Mer break the news feels like I'm throwing all the responsibility upon him. He may have come up with the idea, but I approved it. Feels irresponsible to just hang him dry. Father, Prince Mer and I were wondering if we could marry just a little earlier. What? Darling, do you hear this nonsense? We should never have approved of Mer as a suitor. It's a little too late for such worries, isn't it? Your Majesties, I'm sure Charming has valid reasons. Charming, do you have valid reasons? Do you have a reason at all? Mother, Father, it's no big deal. There are less than 2 weeks left until we're scheduled to marry anyway. What harm could this cause? Precisely. There are fewer than 2 weeks left. Why can't you just wait? I parrot Mer's arguments from the beach. Mer and I must be coordinated as quickly as possible. We cannot be crowned until after we are married. Water and Lunar Kingdoms must be united immediately, Father. Perhaps, but 2 weeks will barely make a difference. It may be wiser for you to prepare for your rule until then. If 2 weeks is not long enough to impact our rule, 2 weeks is definitely not a long enough time for any meaningful preparation. If neither choice makes a difference, we're better off following traditions. Father, do not forget that our kingdom is bankrupt. Throw away your pride and stubbornness. Are traditions and honor really more important than keeping our nation afloat? There isn't enough money left in the treasury to keep this kingdom afloat another week. Loaning money from nobles tends to keep them invested in our kingdom's success. We can't keep loaning money. Their interest rates are part of the reason we're in as big of a mess to begin with. Who left these people in charge? Well, that's debatable. I disagree, Father. Meanwhile, dragons have been attacking Water Kingdom. Yes, I have heard the news. You've heard the news, yet you don't care. Father takes a quick peek at Mer. It's not that I don't care. The kingdom seems to have everything under control. What a load of bull. You're very wrong, Father. The dragons are destroying everything in their path, and once they get to the capital, they could uproot the nation. If they head to the capital at all. This has nothing to do with us. If Water Kingdom becomes unstable, their finances too will go down the drain. Then both our nations will be in peril with no way out. The situation is unlikely to exacerbate to that extent within only 2 weeks. It'll take months as the shortest before the dragons even make a dent on Water Kingdom's boundless finances. But it can't hurt to hurry. You still provide a solid argument for marrying early. We can't dispatch the fairies to help Water Kingdom until we are legally allied. And even after Myrrh and I marry, we have way too much red tape to wade through before we can actually do anything. That alone could take months. At that point, 2 weeks could make a huge difference. The fairies don't want to be dispatched to foreign nations, Charming. Once Myrrh and I marry, Water Kingdom will no longer be foreign. Good luck convincing them of that. On another note, Water Kingdom won't share any of the finances until then either. Father sighs and peeks at Myrrh again. I'd like to talk to you in private, dearest Charming. No need. Marriage and alliance concern both Myrrh and me. It's only he stays. It's only right he stays. Charming. Well, I guess I'll have to plead with them. See, that helps. Please, I beg of you. I have no more arguments, but this is important to me, Mother and Father. My parents stare at each other, exchanging silent words with their eyes. Then they sigh. I suppose we can approve of the wedding, Charming, but we really do not think this is a good idea. Just trust us. You guys have made the right choice, I assure you. May I rely on you guys to report to the nobles and council members? My parents shake their heads, but their answer is in the affirmative. Sure, Charming, of course. You are a little girl, after all. Well, thank you again for your approval and help. Father grunts. He's like, I don't approve of this, but I'm gonna do it. Is it possible to win against your daughter? I beam up at Myrrh as soon as we're outside the castle. That was easier than I expected. I suppose. No, quit being so stoic. It was your idea to begin with. Shouldn't you be way more excited? No, I am excited, truly. It is just that everything feels so surreal right now. It's as though life with you is one big happy dream, and any moment I'll have to wake up. I cup Myrrh's chin with my hands. Come on, Myrrh, this isn't a dream at all. It's right here with you, and we will be together until death do us part. Isn't that the whole point of marriage? Sounds like a dream. It's reality. To an extent. I twirl around absent-mindedly when a thought pops into my head. I don't know if I'm more excited or nervous. About marriage? That too. About ruling. I'm confident we'll be amazing, but I don't know. I want to exceed greatness. I don't want to be Queen Charming. I want to be the Queen Charming. And I want you to be the King Myrrh. Not for your past, but for your future. Myrrh does not respond, but the lack of conversation between us is oddly comfortable. By the time I break the silence, minutes have passed. Can I have a hug? The question is random, but if Myrrh judges me for it, he doesn't show it. Always, you never need to ask me that. I hop into Myrrh's arms and bury my face in his chest as our arms tighten around each other's waists. Hold it right there. I escape Myrrh's grasp, as startled as I am disappointed. 5 men surround us, each with daggers or swords. Who are you guys? What do you want? One of the bandits sneers, revealing his chipped and yellowing teeth. Us! What do you think? Do you think we come here to chit-chat? Myrrh clenches his fists. Go. Jump into the beach. Stay underwater until I tell you to come back out. I do a double take at his arbitrary directions. What? No, I'm not leaving you to fend for yourself. Thanks for the thought, but I'd rather not get drenched. Is there a spell you can use to keep yourself dry? Three lasses, you ignore us? Why don't you we don't take very well to be ignored. I made the bandits pirates for some reason. Hand us everything. Y'all have, or we're gonna seize ya. They both look like they'd fetch high prices at the market. You will not lay a hand on us. Charming, get in the water. Why are you ordering me around? I'm telling you no. You get in the water yourself if you're so scared. I can take care of myself just fine. Charming. The bandits stride closer and closer to us. Somebody do something soon before somebody gets shivved to death. Charming, at least cover your ears with water droplets or something, please. It is dangerous. His words flabbergast me, but I say nothing and obey. He's so headstrong that it must be for a reason. This is totally going to give me swimmer's ears. Forget swimmer's ears, this is a life or death situation. I click my tongue. Someone who has obviously not been in many combats. The bandits take advantage of our banter to attack. One of them throws me down on the ground and holds a dagger above my throat. I look and see Myrrh's wrists have been bound by another bandit. I begin conjuring a spell to combust them from within their bodies. Get the hell off of her! He's speaking? His voice sounds muffled through the water droplets, but he's definitely speaking. What? Split second, something even more ludicrous happens. The bandits gurgle and claw their ears until they bleed. In a moment, they fall backwards to the ground like limp marionettes whose strings have been cut. I squirm and turn to Myrrh. Do not remove the water over your ears just yet. He leans down and covers my eyes. I'm sorry you had to see that. His voice still sounds muffled and gurgly through the film of water, but I can tell that it's deep, melodious, and surprisingly beautiful. The corpses will disappear soon. They always do. It would be bad to leave evidence after all. I've already seen them die. That was bad enough. Why cover my eyes now? Myrrh does respond, which is all the answer I need. How do the bodies disappear exactly? They melt. He doesn't elaborate, and I'm not sure if I want him to. Why? Why what? There are so many questions I want to ask, each of them starting with why, that I don't know where to start. The words torn out of my mouth. Why can you speak? Why did you pretend to be mute? Why did I not know you could talk? Why did you save me? Why did you reveal your secret? Why does your voice kill? Why does your voice kill so violently? Why? I lied about a lot of things. As you can see, whoever cursed me did not steal my voice. They corrupted it. It sounds fine to me, but to anyone else, if their ears are not sealed by water, well, you saw what happens for yourself. So, how far does this power travel, considering, you know, you only went after the bandits, but how far does it go? You might have just killed a little kid who was walking down the beach. His voice further distorts and bubbles, and I can't tell if it's just the water around my ears or if he's tearing up. I was not lying when I said I had no recognition of anything before I returned to the castle. I did not know who cursed me or why. If people were not constantly reminding me that before I disappeared I was as mundane as the next prince, I would have thought I was like this from birth. I nod to assure him that I am listening. He finally removes his hand from my eyes. When I look around, all I see is water and sand. The sand is colored strangely at certain points, but those colorations are barely noticeable until you actively look for it. Myrrh interrupts as if he can read my mind. Beaches are marvelous like that. Everything seeps down. I raise an eyebrow at his return to visual illusions. You're not going to talk anymore? I look at Myrrh. The faintest tear stains cover his face. I don't mention them. Myrrh laughs bitterly. I'm not fond of speaking. Just now it was out of necessity. I see. Myrrh opens his mouth to speak, then closes it. He repeats the movements over and over again until he manages to gather up his thoughts. When I first got to the Water Kingdom's castle, I killed all the guards. I was trying to ask them for help, that was it, but that is not what happened. I try not to show any sign of hesitation or shock. I want to accept Myrrh for everything he is and isn't, and I want him to know that you are not surprised, disgusted. I guessed you must have killed someone. How else would you know what happens to your victims? Is that so? You didn't even know your voice was cursed. They were the first people you met, right? You couldn't have helped it. I'm sorry you had to face that alone. I imagine myself as a 12-year-old amnesiac. I imagine myself walking up to guards to seek help. I imagine myself watching them die. The thought alone suffocates me. What happened to the guards? Or why did you reveal your curse? Well, technically we know the answers to both of them. He killed the guards, and he revealed the curse here. Because, well, A, he needs to trust us, and B, he was protecting us, so... What happened to the guards? What happened with the guards then? How did you cover it up? Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I've never heard about any disappearing when you'd reappeared. Obviously, nobody saw me killing the guards. If they did, they would have died. Myrrh rubs his forehead as though pained. It helped that there was no evidence of their death. They just poofed. My parents did not want additional reason for people to fear or doubt me. To say they silenced everyone involved with the missing guards would be an understatement. Oh, heavens. They defended me through and through because they're my parents, but our relationship has been rickety since the beginning. They feared what I had done to the guards, while I feared their willingness to cover up the truth so easily. I hate my voice, Charming, and I hate the curse on me. The spell on my voice is a nice form of self-defense, but it is not worth the pain. I am a monster. I want to die sometimes to make up for everything I have done. So of course I couldn't tell you, not even my parents know. I know it's selfish, but I did not want you to hate me for my sins. Oh, but You saved me, though. You saved me, though, Myr. While I may not have needed the rescue, it was nice. It was nice to be able to rely on someone else to save me, to do the dirty work in my stead, to protect me. While your voice may be a curse, it is not without its benefits. You may have done some terrible things, but really, who hasn't? What matters is intent, and yours is for the better. This time it is Myr who jumps into my arms. I hold him tight as he bawls and bawls and bawls. Aww, that's so sad. Oh, look at my dress. I'm adorable again. I beam at my parents, adamant. Then I shift my gaze towards Nicole, who offers a concerned, tight smile that comes up more like a grimace. Okay, bye, buddy. I return a cheerful one and raise my brows as I see him leave. Oh, mind him not. He's on an errand. He should have left much earlier, but he wanted to see you first. Oh, I see. Are you guys still anxious? Don't worry. It's going to work out beautifully. Of course it will. No daughter of mine will have a wedding less than perfect. I laugh. Your mother and I have spent a lot of time and money to ensure your wedding will be splendid and peerless. I hate to spoil the surprises, but let's just say the wedding will be magical. I'm surprised you're dedicating so much effort. I thought you didn't care for Prince Myr. Last time I checked, you were furious I even requested an early marriage. Sweetheart, I have long since learned that your decisions can rarely be swayed. Thus, this wedding is inevitable lest you decide to elope. And I suppose your arguments before were not wrong by any means. But do tell us one thing, Charming, and be honest. Whose idea was it to marry so early? I look into Father's eyes. I could answer honestly, or I could answer right. Mine. I make sure to still myself lest I reveal that I'm lying. Is that so? I see then. Do not mind my question. I was only curious. He looks like he has more to say, but he doesn't push through with it. Your father and I would much rather oblige you than lose our sole child. Well, yes, thank you for noticing, but that is no reason for the wedding to be perfect, as you put it. You could just give me a rundown wedding out of spite, but you aren't doing so. Father huffs dramatically, and I raise my brows. Oh? What would the others think of us then? We would close the wedding and make it family only or the like. The others would be none the wiser. An early wedding that breaks tradition following a refusal to reside in the suitor's kingdom for a month. Aye, what a mess. A shame. We are monarchs, dear Charming. We cannot dare lose face any further. The wedding, then, must be absolutely perfect, and we must invite anyone and everyone of power and status, so that any skeptics are silenced. The pride of our status and nation are both in our hands. I pout and make the puppy dog face at my parents. Are those truly your only reasons, Father? Oh, I would weep if not for all this makeup. I'd hate to sabotage your pride by strutting down the aisle with a mascara-stained face, after all. Oh, thank heavens you at least have some sense of decency left, my child. I fear the worst regarding your sense of obligation. Thanks, Ma. It is true, however, that your mother and I may be tremendously proud of you. We love you with all our heart and soul, and watching their daughter walk down the aisle is every father's dream and nightmare. We have both the wealth and the power to give you the best wedding mankind has to offer, so I must. It is my duty. Aw, I love you guys, too. You guys have raised me well. I'm so glad to hear that. Good luck, Charming. If my hopes are fruitful, this will be your only wedding, and you will reminisce upon it fondly for all your years to come. Make the most of today. Don't you worry about it, Father. I'm Princess Charming. I make the best out of every situation. Besides, an event as major as this won't even require effort to enjoy, especially given how much energy you claim you spent to better it. Father shakes his head with a defeated smile, and Mother caresses my cheek. To think you're already so old. To think I'm already so old. I'm barely of legal age, Father. In regards to your age, Mother and you have had the same youthful look since as far back as I can remember. Oh, Charming. Today is a special day for you, and flattery is our job, not yours. I swear you learned to walk just yesterday. I'm only speaking the truth. Yes, enough. Well, I love to be complimented. You have greater things to occupy your mind for the night. Tonight you'll be coronated, huh? I nod, excited by the prospect I will finally rule. Or at least I will begin to. No doubt my parents will very eagerly guide me for the few years as Myr and I adjust and figure things out. To think the day has finally come. Your mother and I can finally retire and watch as our precious daughter governs this kingdom in our stead. Oh, don't be so sure. I will regularly seek your wisdom and guidance, I presume. Father flares his nose, pleased by my response. Well, charming, as long as you remember all the lessons we have drilled into you from day one. You'll make an exceptional ruler, no doubt about it. Aww. If I am half as marvelous a ruler as the two of you, I will consider my reign a success. Oh, quit setting your sights so low. Go along, you have a wedding to finish preparing yourself for. Your mother and I may not be overly fond of your fiancé, but we will trust your judgment. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Well, I shall go now. Pray for me, please. Only every day. Aw, that was sweet and adorable. Yay, we're getting married so quickly. I will admit it is a little weird, but they do kind of have a legit reason for doing so, and it's not just, we're in love. So, I guess we'll see what happens at the wedding next time, but for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying, thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.